Hi, Leo. Alright, you want to get a little closer because I don't feel like yelling this morning. Don't really want you that close to my mug, but you know. Alright, welcome to this place. Alright, Leo, we're going to go over your notes. Usually I just keep them in my head, but I wanted to write them down this month. And then we'll get into your cards. Okay, so I feel like you get a redo. There's a redo on something. Something's asking you to reach for the stars. So I'm not sure how exactly this is playing out for you. It could have something to do with Aquarius in your chart. Maybe a bit of Uranus, if we want to take it astrologically. I could also see this as in relation to your goals. You know, like, I don't know if these are emotional goals or physical goals, things you want to happen in this reality, mental capacity, like whatever you're shooting for here. I want you to reach for the stars, right? If we aim high and we put in the effort, because it doesn't come through just like, oh, I hope this will happen. It's really like the mind is set on something, like the mind is clear. I feel like a person has knowledge to understand, like, to understand something. Because if you reach high and you're putting in the effort, that even if you don't reach that point, well, you're still doing better than the average, right? I heard you're already doing better than the average. There could be a little bit of it where it's like letting go. Part of maybe the success, the feeling of success could also come through letting go of the outcome ultimately. In the sense of, say I heard a person say, well, I feel like this is going to turn out really well, you know, or that like turned out really good. Regardless of the level of it, because it's the effort that's put forth. It reminds me of Virgo energy. You also have some kind of power in your job. I could also see that someone has a very powerful voice right now. When Mercury goes into your sign too, I heard people more so will even like be happy to communicate with you. You could also just see that people are, maybe someone will compliment you on your voice, or someone compliments someone on their voice. It's like, oh, I heard, oh, it's so easy to listen to you, you know, or it's like, it's so easy to talk to you. There could be a little sensitivity around your job or your power right now. I'm actually going to make an extended, because I want to go into the cards shortly here, but we'll look at more of career and that 12th house energy. You have a lot going on the kind of top right of your map. So if we made that a clock, I'm seeing like, you know, 11 to 4 o'clock. Maybe there's something about 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's also something about last year's, I wrote down last year learnings. Last year, singular, learnings, plural. Okay. I don't generally use this word because I think it's played out. Actually, do I have a... I want to get my thesaurus, but it's basically, you have this magician creating this here, right? It's just like, it's kind of an idea, and then all of a sudden it becomes a physical reality. A person can hold it in their hands. All right, yeah. Instead of using one word to explain something, a person is explaining it more, right? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. All right. Good mornings. Okay. So something goes in, someone puts something into something, and then all of a sudden it comes out. It's so something that was, again, just an idea becomes a physical reality. Yes, king of earth. Perfect. So somebody also has a dog. Let's go in order here. Oh, okay, so there was this energy. I already recorded a reading, but we had to do it again. I feel like there could be something that a person feels a little bit stuck about. Where in the sense where they're like, look, I'm trying to figure it out. Perfect. I'm trying, because that's kind of magician too. Mercury energy. I'm going to try. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it like this. I'm going to try this like this. I'm going to try this like that. If you've exhausted all your resources, then remember to step back. Scorpio is one of your squares. They talked, I think it was Scorpio or Cancer. Either way, these are they're two good lessons for you. Step back if it's for some reason feeling a little boxed in, or again, it's not, because this Mercury energy is also open, right? Again, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So if we take this in this month, I could see that your communication is actually very good. There could be some energy where creating in a solo way, by yourself, no one else, that's really beneficial to your world. This could be in relation to your career, just you and yourself. You know, like, I don't know, learning to train. I'm seeing someone trying to levitate something. It's like good practice, right? How do you read how do you read when you can't see, right? You have to practice. Okay. Someone's an amazing artist. Maybe someone has an art show, or they go to like a gallery, or you see a picture on a wall and you're like, I think it's more of the frame though that like catches your eye versus the middle of it. It's the edges of it that catch your eye. And then once you see that, it kind of pulls a person in, and they're like, oh, interesting, there's this other part. And then it's like, once you sit with that, it's even more, there's another one. And maybe that's a part of where it's like, I want to figure this out, if this, in relation to, let me see. Well, I sort of got in my head for a second instead of focusing on what was right in front of me. Do you know what I mean? So let's reel back into our body. Okay. So I heard, I'm happy to be here. Wow, that's a beautiful piece of art. Like I'll be like, oh, that's so interesting. That's so interesting. I heard, I'm so proud of you. Someone's very supportive here. This could also be financial support for some of you. I don't know if you have a business idea or some kind of like art project you're trying to do or something. Someone is, it's almost like one of those things where a person wasn't even trying to have something be available. Right? Like, let's take it as an artist for a second. Someone's just like, oh, I'm just creating this painting. And they did it for them. They're doing it for themselves. And then all of a sudden, other people have to see it some way or another, though. So there has to be socialization, the connection with other humans in this way. When this happens, I'm seeing this king being like, yo, is that painting for sale? Like, how much you want to sell that for? And I feel like a person might even be like, nah, it's not for sale. You know, this isn't for sale. But it would be like, okay, well, can you make me one like that? Be like, I really like that's exactly, like, that's amazing. This would go perfectly. I heard in my cabin. Okay. So there could be something about wood too. All right, let's move on. I think mentally, if you get tied up about work or just like that's a little draining for you right now, just kind of, if your day to day starts to feel a little bit like a drag, let's see. I don't know if this is something financially. Well, remember this king of earth here is looking right over at this other person with a smile on their face, and I heard they believe in you. Someone's drying herbs or writing a lot. I also see someone with an aloe vera plant. There's feathers and there's candles. So there's a lot of intention and like, there's a lot of intention. I mean, maybe someone's come to a bit of a completion stage with this King of Pentacles. That means we've done something in the physical world as far as we can go. It doesn't mean that it can't stay steady from that point or even slightly grow. But at this point, it's kind of like, again, the most physical manifestation of what is happening at this time. So if you don't feel successful for some way, I really need you to, like, I heard erase and rewind. Because I feel like that's an old tape. There's an old tape playing. Do you know what I mean? And I heard weighing options financially. Last month we talked about, yup, it's as good a time as any. And there were two things you were quitting, right? Or working on letting go of, however this played out for you. Anything health related, you have Ceres going through your 6th house of health. This could be drinking, smoking, for instance, is like connected to, like it's a suckling energy. You know what I mean? It's like I'm connecting to this thing. So any kind of eating, drinking, smoking, anything that goes to the mouth. So maybe someone's making some choices around there that they just realize, okay, again, maybe that's one of the things where it's like, I can't go any further with this. Because King of Pentacles could also say, I really want to care about my body. My body is important to me. This physical reality and myself within it, right? This vessel, I heard I want to make some changes in here so that I have more energy or clarity. Okay. Just a second, Leo. Okay, I'm seeing Sun conjunct Uranus. Or maybe this is like a Sun-Uranus. Oh, Sun-Uranus opposition. I guess this could be Sun-Pluto energy too. Oh, I'm sorry, Aunt. So what are we talking about? It's like the ego and the soul? Or either way, these are really powerful things. Two really powerful things are very close to one another. And I heard maybe there's merging. Okay, then we have the next two cards are the Three of Pentacles and the Sun card. So someone thought something was going to go out, or like maybe they felt like they were losing, because I feel like a person was testing their power. You know, that's this magician in the world too. Like, what can I do? What can I do to change this? What can I do to create this? I guess this is an emphasis of, like, if it's not working ultimately in the way that you want, you can still keep putting energy into it if you want to. I heard it's all up to you. But I really feel like stepping back and shifting your energy just a little bit will help you, because in the center of your reading is the Tower. And so there's something changing in a person's heart. This could also be, some of you are Uranus and Leo generation. I think that's like kind of a baby boomer section. If we talk about it like that, that gives, like, I'm seeing like heart palpitations. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of like because there's electricity going through the heart. Now, if we're settled, mostly confident, Cancer had this card. Settled, mostly confident, we realize that we have options with things, then this can actually be very, I can see the Tower as inspiring. I'm also seeing Uranus going through Taurus, which is, again, goes up into your career house. That's a really big thing. I heard I don't want you to be scared about that, whatever's changing with you and how you're showing up in the world, okay? I mean, that could be changing, but you don't have to be afraid of those changes, and they don't necessarily need to be. I don't see the physical world shifting like a 180. I think a 180 kind of energy is, you'd really want to temper yourself like that. You could take a, gander again at your options or something, but, and even take a few steps towards it and test it out and come back into you. But I don't think you should, like, I just saw someone like spinning a kid on a, you remember on a swing where you'd like twist up the chain and then it whips out. I don't feel like you need to be, I heard, please don't be extreme about anything. In relation to your job too, I guess we're talking about it here a little bit more. It keeps coming up. This is because this is our physical reality. It's how we provide for ourselves, our livelihood, like basic stuff, right? Maslow's hierarchy needs here. I needed to know that people love your layers. They love what you create, the space that you create, the energy that you create, the whatever, however you do, Leo. I need you to know that. So where should we go now? I think you should be thrifty, especially financially, from now until December, now until the end of the year. It'll make you feel better when you get into August, especially if you check in with that. And maybe just money's a little bit tight, but it's interesting because this King of Pentacles is here, and I heard, it's cool, I got you, everything's all right. But you don't really like to be under the thumb of somebody else, right? It feels like that when someone tries to give you things, right? You think, oh shit, what do I owe them now? And there's a part of you that's very fair, kind of like Libra, where you're going to be like, well, this is an exchange. I heard, can I afford that? So if someone, again, wants to support you, I would not deny it. This is not, it doesn't feel like a place of manipulation, right? Like, I'll give you this if you do that. It's not an ultimatum energy. It's like, I want to support you. You are amazing. And they're like, no, someone's like, no, I don't know. Like, I heard, I feel like I'm at the end of the line. And so I guess don't wait till the last minute to ask for help with something. You know what I mean? Maybe some of you, this is something real basic, like at work, you like ask other people to help you with your workload if something's too heavy. Do you know what I mean? And if your employees or your coworkers aren't doing that, then you talk to your boss or you get new employees. You know what I mean? Because you need to be able to rely on people there because you hold so much responsibility in yourself. Okay. Give me a second. Well, something's finally feeling better in relation to... We have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Moon. Which is very good. So it's kind of like... And it's with the Zen card. So someone's learning to calibrate. Something's being calibrated. This could be like... I'm seeing the vagus nerve. Because both of the... Oh, actually, 1, 2... All 3, 4, 5. These are very still cards. I need you to know that you're a big light in the world, Leo. I know, maybe everybody tells you that. It seems standard, right? Like, Leo's the sun, so you're bright. But it's like, no, dude, you really are bright. You're super bright. Even when you'd rather just be in the shadows and, like, not in the light. You shine so bright. So someone's letting go of worry. This could also be like an inner child or like a mother wound. Having to do with family. Yeah, Cancer's in your 12th house, right? So some women have been your enemies. Do you know what I mean? But you didn't know that through your life, and then you had to learn to, like, forgive them. But sometimes you can fall in love with your enemies, so be careful with that. I think you already have experienced this. It's just a test in forgiveness, you know? Like, and accepting people for really who they are and not trying to change them, you know, or like... Okay. Knight of Swords, Strength, Eight of Swords. So the strength of your mind right now is very powerful. I feel like if you get too much in your head, you want to tap into your moon sign or go to Cancer's reading. This card, again, has just been really powerful. And Cancer was talking about how it's this, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to, you know, I've already been all the way. I've been what is behind me. I've already been there, right? What was. I've explored over here. I can see over there. There's nothing over here. Okay. I heard it's irrelevant over there. And then here's this door, and I heard I'd really like to go there. I'm gonna go check out what's in there. Who knows? So again, trying something new in some kind of way. Let's see. Justice. Yeah, it could be very good for you. It may test your ego a little bit. It could test your strength. I feel like if there's any repetitious conversations that are not positive, how do we explain that? 5 of Wands. You should really try to get some exercise, Leo. Or like, yeah. Because I find when, like, this Eight of Swords energy, when there's a lot of swords, it's almost like when the air is heavy. You know what I mean? Like when it's like hard to breathe. It's like, it's just so, maybe it's just so muggy. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of water in the air. There's a lot of water in the air when the mental cards aren't functioning correctly, right? Eight of Swords can also be a bit of that Uranus and the heart energy where it's like I feel anxious, or like my body isn't very comfortable right now. Like the nervous system is kind of like in overload. So figuring out how you find, I mean, and to each of you your own, you know. People say this all the time, like ground yourself, you know, find your center, blah blah blah. These are good terms. I mean, the blah blah blah. It's just, it doesn't mean anything if someone doesn't actually figure out what that is for them, right? Because someone could be like, oh, you got to ground yourself by doing, if you want this, then you got to do it this way. And it's like, you could try. Maybe that works for you, maybe it doesn't. I heard, and again, if it doesn't, try something else, and maybe you have to try something 3 times. Someone can see somebody else's ability, and they're like, oh, I want to do that. Like, someone kind of, I don't think they want to be somebody else. But I heard, again, they're trying to figure it out, and I wrote this down for your last one. It's just like, I'm trying. It's not even I'm trying, I want to figure it out. And I guess a person does. That's the point. I could see there's a really big decision too that like changes a person's world. Like it really changes a person's world. It changes their energy. It changes the way people see them. It's like, and this is where it's almost like a 180, where you're like, wow, wait, I heard you've been drinking for 30 years. You're sober now, you know, or like, however it's that kind of thing where people are impressed by the positive of the change that's so different from what a person, you know, like, oh, you're seeing so and so, like I've always saw you hanging out with this person. Oh, interesting. We have one more example. I heard someone say, oh, you're offering that now? Like, I thought you were just an employee. You know, like someone maybe is stepping out on their own or like expanding in something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. What do we have for time? I'm gonna say that's good, Leo, for now. Oh, the crescent moon, when it's on, if you see it in the sky, when it's on the left, there's also something about that. Maybe you want to, I heard, like, say your wish, or, like, I think this has to do with that reach for the stars thing. Mm-hmm. Alright, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a happy July, or whenever you arrive. Happy birthday, too, if you're a cusper. I love August time. I'm excited when that comes around, so looking forward to your birthday. It's a good month. Okay, so we'll have the extended over on Patreon if you want to check that out. If you're already over there, it'll already be up. But yeah, I think we'll go more into like whatever's happening with work, because I feel like there's some really powerful big stuff going on in there. Your 12th house too, 10 and 12. Okay, take care. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.